welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul. Most of them are like children's or YA, but I think they're quite interesting, so stick around even if you don't like children's and YA. The first book is The Island at the End of Everything by Kiran, Millwood, Hargrave, and this is a book I've already read. I thought it was beautiful. I gave it 5 stars. It's about a little girl who lives in a leper colony in the earlier 20th century in the Philippines. It's a really beautiful book. I think it really portrays disability and mental illness very well. The next book is one I haven't really heard much about, but I recognised him. It's The City of Thieves by David Benioff. Benioff. This book just sounds quite fun and intriguing. It says, in the coldest winter in history, a starving city under siege, 2 prisoners are thrown together on a desperate adventure. Lev, a shy, chess-loving teenager, and Kolya, a charismatic chancer. Dancer or chancer? I can't actually read that. They are given 1 week to complete an extraordinary mission, to scour the ravaged countryside to find a dozen eggs, or come back empty-handed and die. And it's got lots of quotes on here about how fast-paced and riveting and brilliant it is. So, but I can't actually read who they're by. But so I haven't really heard much about this one. I'm quite into thieves and fun and stuff like that. I love like The Lies of Romero, so I'm quite looking forward to this one. I think it'd be a nice like upbeat one to start maybe 2018 with. So we'll see. Ooh. Next one I think is sci-fi. It's one I've heard a lot about. It's called The Uglies by Scott Westerfield. This is a cover I've not seen before. I picked it up in a charity shop. I think it's about a society where you have the people who just grow up normally, and then you have people who decide to have like an operation of some kind that makes them pretty. And the main character, her best friend, decides she doesn't want to become pretty and runs away. And this girl's given an ultimatum to find her friend or never become pretty herself. But she's not sure that she wants to become pretty or something. I'm not sure. It just sounds quite fascinating. Not usually a big fan of sci-fi like this, but this one just really intrigues me, and I've heard a lot about it, and just sounds like it might be a bit of fun. But it is, I think, a series. There's 2 other books on the back of here, so it might be one I get to a bit later, because I'm a bit flaily about starting series, especially when I'm still reading Harry Potter. So yeah, one for a bit later in 2018 perhaps. The next one is one I'm a bit about, and that's Ashton Quill by Rachel Caine. I really loved the first book in this series. This book is the 3rd book in a series. I really loved the first book, Ink and Bone, and it was just really fun, really intriguing. It's about a world where the Library of Alexandria never burned down. It now controls the entire world's access to information, and there's like magical people who can control some kind of technology to do with the library, and burners who are like rebelling and just burning books everywhere, and like it's really fun. The main character is from a book smuggling family, and his father sends him to like infiltrate the scholars of Alexandria, and it's so much fun. But book 2 was such a letdown. It was just repetitive and boring, and just like, it was like Scooby-Doo, where like they get chased around and you'd be like, so why are you going back there? And then they get chased again and you're like, okay. And there was just lots and lots of really big editing problems with book 2, especially towards the end. It felt like this big kind of climax had been cut down so much that it just didn't make sense anymore. Like, we had a whole scene where Jess basically figures out that his family are trying to signal to him that he should not go somewhere, but then they go there anyway, and you're like, what? But that's what they're supposed to have done. And it just, there's so many things that didn't make sense, and suddenly the language was really wrong as well. Like, the main character Jess, he's British, he's born and raised in London, so he's a Londoner, and he describes London streets as blocks. And if you've ever been to London, you know, not blocks at all. And there's even a comment about the twisty, windy streets of London and things like that. And like, he's got no concept of that either, because the only cities he's ever been to have been ancient cities that are not built like that. So blocks is just like, it's such an interjection from the author and her American language. They just threw me completely out of the story. Like, I wouldn't mind if he was an American character in London, because that makes sense, but he's not. And I think that kind of authenticity was just really, really frustratingly lost. So Ashton Quill, I haven't heard much about it. I've been a bit reluctant to look much up about it either, because I really want this to be turned around and become a great series again, but I have heard that this is no longer a trilogy, it's now like 5 books or something, so there's 2 more, so, and I'm just not sure how much she can pull out of this plot that she's got going, because there's not much been added in book 2, but who knows, I might be just worrying about nothing, but I am a bit worried. So this was like a £2 buy in the works, because I don't want to buy the big hardbacks. So there's that one. I'm hoping to read this one soon, because I'm just like, it's watching me from across the room, and I'm like, will you be good? Will you be good? Please be good. I don't know if you're going to be good, but yes. The next 2 are the only ones that I've actually bought brand new. I saw them in Waterstones, and I've bought them with my little sister in mind, or my little brother, but I will probably read them first because books, and also they're maybe a bit old for her at the moment. The first one is the Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell, and this one just sounds like insane, and a little bit like Nikolai of the North by Lucy Daniel Raby, but also like, oh, I don't know, I'm trying to think what it might be like. Maybe a bit like Cornelia Funke, just really wacky and weird. I'll read you the synopsis. Meet Shay Silverton Kipling, the captain's son and wolf whisperer. Ethan Edward Rook, the magician and ocean explorer. Beanie, half-elf medic, and well, you have to meet Beanie. And Stella Starflake Pearl, orphan and most determined of explorers. When Stella joins the Polar Bear Explorers Club on an expedition to the Icelands, her eyes are open to a world of danger, adventures and snow pirates. Out in the icy wilds there are giant yetis, magical golden geese, terrifying carnivorous cabbages, and important new friendships to be made. Join the explorers on an unforgettable adventure across the ice. So this one just sounds wacky and fun and really cool, and just like old style magic, like just chaos. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've already started it a little bit. The first chapter is definitely that kind of Nikolai of the North, and just silly, nonsensey kind of fun. Just like, magical fun. Like, I'm so hoping I can give this to my little sister, because I think she would love it. And the other one is Legend of Podkin One Ear by Kiran Larwood. And I think the sequel to this one is already out, even though this one I think only came out this year. So he's a very quick writer, he is. This one sounds like a mix of Redwall and maybe like Watership Down without the kind of trauma. It just sounds like fun. It's about adventuring rabbits, and it just sounds really, really cute. So I'll read you the blurb of this one as well. Back when rabbits were small, twitchy, terrified things, warrens were little more than a collection of holes and tunnels. Now, there are entire villages and cities built under the earth, completely out of sight. Podkin is the son of Lopkin, chieftain of the Munbury Warren. He wasn't a hero back then. He hasn't slain any giant rabbits or formed any robber bands. Oh, and he still has both of his ears. He was also perhaps the laziest, most spoilt son of the chieftain in the whole 5 realms. But when his warren is attacked by the Gorm and the most terrifying threat to rabbit kind, Podkin has to step up, and so a leader is born. And this has got so many great reviews. It's won the Blue Peter Book Award, which I really love that award because it's actually judged by children. I think it's the only children's book award that does that. And I think it's really important to hear from children about what books they like. I mean, children aren't always the greatest judges of like quality, but a story that's good, children know how to recognise that. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It's a long time since I read a book kind of like Redwall, so I'm quite excited for it. Because the sequel's already out as well, I'm quite excited that I can just roll into the next one if I really love it. And the last one is one I've seen a little bit about on BookTube, and that's the Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero. And this one is historical fiction set during World War II. It's about a Jewish dollmaker, I think. Yeah. Krakow, Poland, 1939. Magic brings a little doll named Karolina to life in a toy shop. She becomes friends with a gentle, broken-hearted dollmaker who owns the shop. When the darkness of the Nazi occupation sweeps over the city, Karolina and the dollmaker Carolina and the Dollmaker must use their magic to save their Jewish friends from terrible danger, no matter what the risks. Weaving together magic, folklore and history, this timeless story is about finding hope and friendship in the darkest of places. And this just sounds like a really beautiful sort of story, quite a dark heart. It looks like it's quite wintry as well, so I'm hoping to read this one over Christmas break. I'm into children's books at the moment, I think. Yep. So I'll be reading lots of those. So those are the books I bought recently. I might have one more book haul before the end of the year, depending if I get any books for Christmas or any money for books for Christmas. But otherwise, these are the books that I intend to read soonish, maybe into 2018. If you've read any of these, I'd love to hear from you, especially the children's ones, because children's books are great. I love children's books. Also, if you've read Rachel Caine's Library of Alexandria series, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on that, because I'm not sure if it's just me being nitpicky and annoying, but I feel really disappointed by the second one, and I'm quite nervous to read the third one, so I might need some convincing. So if you've read the third one and you did enjoy it, I'd love to hear from you. If you didn't enjoy it, maybe just gently let me down. But yeah, hope to see you soon. Hope you're all having a great week and a great Christmas break. Goodbye. I said Rach.